Hey everybody, good morning and welcome to another edition of Tyngsborough TV Live. I am the Town Media Director Steve Brogan, and this edition is the Tyngsborough Tuesdays segment that I've been doing, where I've been inviting local businesses in the town of Tyngsborough to come in and tell us about what they do and why they do it, and why they decided to locate it in business. So today my guest is Megan Preventure. She runs the training project, it's called, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And so she's going to tell us all about her business here in town and how she helps to keep us Tyngsborough or the Tyngsborough residents healthy and fit, and so we can be good and strong for in our old age, right?
Absolutely.
I should mention that if you would like to watch this broadcast anywhere, we broadcast this on Facebook on the various pages we share it across, as well as on YouTube. You can watch it there. You can also chime in and ask questions if you'd like to on both of those sources. And you can also watch us at tyngsboroughma.gov on our video on demand and streaming, and on Comcast Channel 8 and Verizon Channel 29. And if you are a business in town that would like to be part of the program and come in and talk about what you do and why, then just contact me, sbrogan at tyngsboroughma.gov, and you can send me an email there, or you can send me a message through Facebook if you want to contact me that way. Either way is fine. So if you want to do that, let me know. So Megan, let's talk about your fitness thing, because fitness is not my strong point. I'm not really caught up in, I'm not like kind of guy, I guess. I could be, I think, anyways. But I'm not necessarily into fitness. But tell me what got you into fitness. Why are you so into this, and why do you like to do this for a job?
Yeah, so why I got into fitness. So I've actually told the story a few times, and I typically save it when I feel like people really need a motivating factor. I definitely didn't pop out of the womb being all fit and rearing and ready to go, right? And so it started before college, high school actually. I remember asking my parents for a gym membership.
Okay.
I had no idea what I was doing. I walked in, I'm seeing all of these people working out, and I thought, oh my God, what are these machines, and what the heck am I supposed to do with them?
Gyms are very intimidating.
Very
Not only
intimidating.
the people, but the machinery itself, yeah.
Absolutely.
How do I use this thing?
Exactly.
Right. I don't want to kill myself.
Yep, people are getting in it. They're doing weird things. There's all these adjustments, and I'm like, oh,
I've been
man, right? So, you kind of look amongst the crowd, and you're like, all right, that person looks in shape. They look good. I'll just do what they're doing. Man, that's just a recipe for disaster. I didn't know it then, but, now knowing better, of course. But
I imagine they're at different skill levels, so you're...
Most definitely. Yeah. So in trying to mess around with the machines and figure out what I was doing, I realized I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to make any of these adjustments, let alone know even what exercises to do. So I walked by the group fitness room where, it was at the time mostly populated by ladies, and they're all bouncing around doing stuff. And once again, I was thinking to myself, no way, I am not going in there. I'd like peek, look in there, see what's going on. And I was like, forget it. I can't do this. Fast forward a little bit, I would walk in and say, you know what? All right. I don't know how to use that treadmill. I don't know how to use that elliptical, but a bike. Well, I ride a bike, so what can that hurt?
Seems simple enough. And
5 minutes on a stationary bike, and my legs were burning, and I was wheezing, and I thought,
oh boy,
forget this.
Yeah.
Like, this sucks,
Yeah.
So I left that, went to college, met a boy, of course.
As usually happens in college.
He was going into the Marine Corps, and I thought, oh my God, I have to impress this kid. I got to be able to keep up with him.
Yeah.
Tried going to the gym with him, tried running, and again, it was just a disaster. I had no conditioning. I had no strength. I had no fitness base.
Okay.
And so fast forward to present day, my first exposure really to a gym consistently was working for one, but selling memberships. And that stunk equally.
I can imagine.
And, but I was watching the trainers, I was watching the Group X instructors, and I was like, you know what? Like, that looks awesome because they're helping people, they're interacting with people. This is definitely something that's a little bit more of my interest. So I kind of took that road and decided, you know what? This seems like a good idea. I want to help people. I like being around people. Let's see how this pans out. And started working on my own physical fitness at that point and working through the transformation. And it was challenging. It was really hard. You need to be able to practice what you preach. So getting myself into a good physical state was important for the credibility aspect, and then having the education underneath.
I imagine if you were like a 300-pound, overweight person being the personal coach, that probably doesn't really go over well.
It can be really challenging. There are all different body types and different fitness levels, and somebody can be super strong and they can have great conditioning and not necessarily have the physical aspect that reflects that. So,
well, that's what I mean. If you were to pick a personal coach, you'd pick the one that looks better. I'd be like, I want to look like that guy or girl.
Correct. So, my heart goes out to those individuals who haven't quite been able to hone in on the aesthetic aspects of their bodies and being able to fine tune, what they would like to see happen for themselves. But there are different levels of fitness. So even if you don't necessarily look like you're in good shape, you can still perform really well. You can still move really well.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah, that's true. You can be, like you said, strong, but not necessarily look like the Hulk or Schwarzenegger or something.
I did my very first triathlon sprint when I was in my 20s. And we did the swim first, then we did the bike, then we ran. Let me tell you, by the time I got to that run, I was junk. I was toast.
Imagine,
I was walking in my head. I'm like, this sucks. I'm never doing this again.
It's a lot on you. Yeah.
And these two ladies come strolling by. They carried more weight than I did, but they were running. And they looked back at me and they said, honey, those legs ain't made for walking. I'm thinking to myself, right now they are. And it was crazy because those ladies had just done the same thing I did. They swam, they biked, and they're now running, and they were flying by me.
They just had the conditioning.
They did.
Yeah.
So physically it doesn't always necessarily reflect aesthetically with our bodies, but we can definitely do really great things internally for our bodies. And while the motivation can be, hey, I want to look better, we really focus on making sure that people feel better and that they move better. And that's why we have such a broad range of fitness levels that are at the training project.
Let me ask you about motivation, because that seems to be the people's biggest downfall. You can be just like with New Year's resolutions. I'm so motivated. I'm ready. I'm going to lose, whatever. I'm going to do this thing and it's going to be great. And then 2 weeks later, you're like, what was I doing again? You totally forget what, how do you keep people motivated?
Yeah, life kicks in, right? All of a sudden, or if you have kids or you started a new job or your schedule
life
changes.
Gets in the way.
It is really challenging.
Yeah.
So I think what's important is making sure that you've identified a goal that really resonates with you.
Okay.
Why is this goal so important and what are you going to get out of it? Really for the most part, if people are just going more from an aesthetic perspective, that's only going to hold you so much. You need a deeper seated reason as to why you're improving your fitness.
Yeah, that makes sense.
A lot of times I'll bring children into the story and I'll explain to parents, your kids are still young. They still want to play. They want to have fun and they want to have fun with you. At some point, your kid's not going to want to play with you anymore. Now's a great time to build up that strength, build up that conditioning so that you can play with them, so you can go sledding, so you can run back up the hill and sled down with them, so you can play with them on the playground, so you can play catch, so that you can go to the batting cages and not throw your back out when you take that first swing.
Yeah, especially, I have two young ones. I was telling you off camera. I have an 8-month-old and a soon-to-be 4-year-old.
Yep.
And keeping up with the two of them it's unbelievable.
Oh yeah, especially when they go in two different directions.
Yeah,
Screwed.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, yeah. Luckily that my daughter likes to do her crafts, and my son he's just learning to kind of get on his feet, and he's in a walker thing, so he likes to run around the house with that. But but even still, your point is very valid in that you want to be able to keep up with your kids and do that stuff.
Absolutely.
Do you think that there's something to do also with keeping people's ideas reasonable? So like if I go in, and my idea is I want to look like Schwarzenegger did when he was, whatever he was, Olympic guy there, Olympus or whatever the heck they called it. I mean, is that a reasonable thing for a person to want to attain, or is it one of those things like, listen, let's start with maybe like...
Right. So I try not to shoot down anyone's goals or dreams,
Which
you know what I mean?
Fair enough, right? You don't want to do that, yeah.
So, ideally, what would your end result be like? What would you like to see happen? And then we sit down and we talk about, all right, why is that goal important? Is there really a reason for you to look like Schwarzenegger? And if there is, definitely, lay it on me. We'll put out a battle plan and, we'll trudge forward.
You better be ready though, that's for sure.
But realistically, as I try to get people to look at their lifestyles, that's the first thing, really what's reasonable. Okay, do you have a full-time job? Are you part-time? Do you stay at home? Do you have kids? What's your routine like? Are you a morning person? Are you a night person? There's a lot that goes into trying to recreate your schedule when you're trying to find a place for fitness. So the first thing is definitely identifying the goal. Is it reasonable? Is it something that you can attain? And then can you sustain it for the long term? Is this something that can be a permanent change in your life? And if looking like Schwarzenegger isn't, maybe we can modify it slightly, so that maybe, no pun intended, but have your cake and eat it too.
Right,
you can kind of have the best of both worlds. Maybe you look a little bit better and you feel better, but you still get to indulge. You still get to, live life and have fun and, not have to go to one extreme over the other.
Yeah. I imagine starting to see those changes that really starts to help motivate you in that, I need to go to the gym tomorrow. Maybe I shouldn't eat that piece of cake.
It definitely does. When you start to see the, the full picture come into view, it definitely gets easier.
Now, how about folks that are trying to find time to do this? I mean, you mentioned, families and work and all of the other things that go along with it.
Absolutely.
How do you, how do they find the time to do it, or how do they make the time? And then in your experience, what seems to be the best times that people, like what's the busiest times at the gym, basically? Morning, afternoon, evening, something along those lines?
So it really depends. It depends on your job, what you do for work, and what your schedule is there. If you're a stay-at-home mom with the kiddos, maybe that mid-morning time, maybe that works. You've gotten the kids off to school, they're on the bus, they're gone. You could swing by the gym, do your hour workout, go back home, and continue on with your schedule.
Okay.
If you're somebody, say you're a commuter and you're on the road by 7 a.m., maybe after work is that time. Or maybe if you have, a later arrival time for work, like 9 or 10, maybe you can be an early morning warrior and hit the 5:30 a.m.
really
or the 6:30 class. Waking up is the hardest part.
Yes.
Once you get out of bed,
totally agree with that.
You're good to go. It's just getting up. I think what it comes down to too is that while I can help everyone, find that optimal spot in their schedule, maybe where they can come to the gym, we can do these classes at these times and this will really work out. There's a level of commitment that definitely has to happen. And when we do one-on-one personal training, typically that's pretty easy because nobody wants to stand up the trainer, right? They've made a commitment, they've paid money, they know this is their time slot. So they're
that's
like,
a good point. Yeah,
do
that's your motivation,
right? Do I really want to throw this money out the window?
Right.
No, of course you don't. And then when we do group classes, there's definitely the accountability aspect from everyone who consistently comes at that time. So you get to know these faces, you make friends, and Susie Q and Billy Bob are going to know, hey, where's Steve? He didn't show up for class, and he's normally here at this time.
She's trying to make me go to these classes.
Right? So there is an accountability aspect, and not even just from the coach, but, from your fellow peers that are there to help encourage and support you.
Okay, that's cool. Let's talk. So let's talk a little bit now about the training project, your business now. We've talked about some of the things around it and the whys and whatnot. Personally, I feel motivated already.
Excellent.
I think I'm ready to go. I don't know yet. We'll see. We'll have to talk more. So tell me about the training project. Why did you specifically want to do this business? It seems like you got away from I'd say the chains, maybe the bigger gyms, and then decided to start your own thing. And how does that all work, basically?
Right. So my background has always been with just one-on-one personal training, and then I was an instructor for years as well, teaching group classes like boxing and boot camps or indoor cycling, things like that. So I've been in the industry for over 17 years. I've been doing this a long time, and I've been in and out of gyms, the commercial, the big box gyms, and there's usually always protocol that you have to follow, right? They have their own blueprint that they want things done a certain way. So you follow the rules, you do what you do. And I kind of just realized that, I have my own special way with people, and feeling a little bit, confined and restrained in my ability to be able to do things the way I think they need to be done. I decided to kind of break away and decide, I'm going to do it my way, and I'm going to do what I think is best. So that's really pretty much how the training project came along.
Okay, excellent.
I did my business out of the garage for about 3 years, saved some pennies, and then poof, there was the training project.
Created,
And,
got your space. And
Yep, we got a space. And
Very cool. Where is the space now?
so we're on 4 Middlesex Road, right in Tyngsborough. We're right on the Chelmsford line.
Oh, right. Okay.
We're directly across from where the old Top Granite used to be.
Gotcha. Okay. Right.
Yep. So we're there. It's a brand new building. This December will be 3 years in.
Wow. Nice.
It's an awesome facility, clean. Like I said, still brand new. It's great. We focus on small group training and one-on-one training. So people can come in, they can decide to do a one-on-one session package, or they can join a membership and they can have unlimited monthly classes that they can participate in.
How big are the groups?
We cap all of our class sizes at 12.
Oh, okay. So small enough groups that one person you can run it and you can probably get a good amount of information.
Yes, I need to make sure that I'm able to see everybody. I need to make sure I can coach everybody. As I mentioned, we have so many different fitness levels that I need to be able to make an adjustment if somebody has an injury, if they have a different fitness level, if an exercise just isn't working for them. I need to be able to make those swap outs or exchanges. I need to modify. I'm able to do that. If the class gets too big, there's always somebody that ends up getting missed or overlooked. That's when injuries can happen, and that's just not a good scenario.
Yeah, that'd be bad. Injuries are not a good thing. Let me just quickly reset so everybody knows you're watching our Tyngsborough Tuesdays segment. My guest is Megan Preventer of the Training Project here in Tyngsborough. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, feel free to chime in and ask questions. That's why my eyes keep kind of darting back and forth. I'm watching the stream. I'll say hi to Lynn. She's watching from Arizona. And there's a number of other folks that are watching as well. So if you have questions, though, feel free to throw those in the comment section, and we'll be happy to talk about it. So you said groups of 12, yes?
Yes.
And do you teach all of the classes?
I do not teach all of the classes.
So that would be an incredible amount of work.
I know.
And very good motivation, I would imagine. You've got to show up to teach these people.
My goodness. So God bless them. So I have 2 other coaches with me.
Okay.
I have John and Phil, so they're with me at the Training Project. They teach some of the what's called GPT. It's group personal training classes.
Okay.
And John is one of our boxing and boot camp coaches. So we definitely have some folks that have signed up one-on-one personal training with him for that. It's definitely a great workout, and they have a lot of fun with him.
While you talk, I'm going to put the website up so
Definitely.
you can just keep talking about
All right.
about your programs. So what are some of the programs that you do at TTP?
So for the group personal training, we, as I mentioned, only 12 people in a class, and we focus on all aspects of fitness. So we run what are called series, and a series is an 8-week long program with 6 sub-programs in them.
Okay.
And we rotate through these 6 programs throughout the week because we run group personal training 6 days a week. So each day is a different program.
Oh, okay.
We do not post the programs ahead of time because we don't want anyone cherry picking.
Ah, gotcha. Right. You want to keep people guessing. That makes sense.
Exactly. So we range through, strength training programs, conditioning, high volume. Some of it will be, just high intensity cardio. So we hit the gamut. And when you're coming in, you're going to get that variety for 8 weeks. Once the 8 weeks is over, we archive all of those programs and we start a brand new series. So that's actually happening. We're wrapping up our Series 17 programming for the end of September. And October 1st, we will be bringing on a new series, Series 18.
Oh, fascinating. Now, how do you keep the programs fresh? Like, are you basically taking the same grouping of things and just rearranging them? Or
so sometimes you'll see a lot of the same exercises, just because they're good foundational staple exercises, things like pull-ups, things like push-ups, squats, but you'll just see them in different variances, coupled with different exercises under different circumstances. So maybe it might be a longer work period with heavier weights, a shorter work period moving faster.
Okay.
So we change up different aspects of, the program, whether it's time, intensity, frequency, and that's what kind of keeps things fresh.
Okay. So there's a lot of different parameters you can change in order to make the same workout be
different.
Dozens of different workouts potentially.
Exactly.
Right. Interesting. Now, I was looking through the photos here as I was showing them on screen. Is your clientele primarily female or male, or is it just a mix and the photos just kind of really only reflect women because they're better to look at, quite honestly?
So we...
a bunch of sweaty guys.
Right. So predominantly right now, I would probably say we're about a 70-30 split.
Okay.
70% ladies, 30% guys.
The guys were just out the day of the photos, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
They weren't there.
It's been a little tricky,
Yeah.
being a female owner, business owner, obviously tend to attract more females. This industry is a little bit tough. If you're on the younger side as a gentleman, you're probably not inclined to come see somebody like me for fitness advice. Once they kind of cusp over into, being a husband and being a dad and that maybe macho-ness, I guess, if we want to call it. Sorry if I offend anyone. Yeah. That's not, they don't care. They're like, you know what? I just want to be a healthier version of me. They're around their wives and their families and their kids, and, they're looking through the lens differently at this point.
Okay, that I can totally see that. I mean, I feel personally that way myself. I wouldn't, for a fitness thing, I wouldn't mind if it was a woman or a man. It doesn't seem to make a difference to me. I don't feel any different about it. But then again, when it comes to my doctor, it's got to be a guy. Or if it's a masseuse, like it's got to be, I don't know what it is.
Right.
It's just kind of one of those things.
Yep, and it's just it's a preference thing, and sometimes those things change over time. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess when you're a dad, it's just sort of everything. You don't care anymore.
No, you really don't. You don't. I have some full families, like
really
the mom, the dad, the kids that are members of
that's awesome.
TTP.
Yeah.
They all come together.
So you can do this as a big family thing if you wanted to as well. That's fantastic.
Yep,
yeah,
exactly.
Very cool.
The dynamic between the family members are awesome.
Oh, it must be fun.
They are hysterical. I love it.
Do the kids tend to focus, or are they off?
Nope, they do really, really well.
Really?
They really do well. And most of the time they end up showing up the folks.
Really?
They're into it. They love it. And chances are they probably play a sport too. So they're already loving the fact that, hey, I get to be active. Now they get to come to a gym. They get to have that outlet. There's a whole different social circle that they're exposed to, and they get to do something with their family.
Interesting. Yeah, that's actually kind of a fascinating idea. And for parents who have sports kids that they really, the kid wants to excel, or maybe they're not as athletic. We're not all born athletic. I wasn't sure, certainly. And it probably could help them in their sports.
Most definitely.
If at the very least, in probably preventing injury, maybe?
Exactly. I've often encouraged parents to say, you know what, I know that some kids get to that age, 13, 14, where they start inquiring, hey, like I might want to start working out. Maybe they're grabbing their dad's dumbbells and maybe they're starting to do push-ups in their room and stuff like that. They go with their friends to the gym, and that's sometimes where the bad habits get learned.
Okay.
So oftentimes I'll tell parents, even if you're not able to make a full investment into your child with personal training, because it can be expensive, even just a few sessions, come in, let me show them the ropes. Let's go through some basic exercises so that they understand what the goal is. They understand how to move their bodies and what they're trying to get out of it. And it just sets the foundation for better moving habits as they move forward, even with it, whether it's with sports, at the school with their coaches, or they're just doing recreational stuff on their own.
That really does make good sense, because if you think about it, like you go to a gym, you walk in, and like you said in the opening, you walk in, it's like, how do I even use these machines? If you've gone to a personal trainer or had some good basic level of training, the ABCs, if you will.
Exactly.
You know how to use the stuff and not hurt yourself. You're not like
precisely.
You're not
and oftentimes too, a lot of exercises that we do, our programs involve full body movements, and we just use some accessories. Maybe we'll have a few dumbbells, a few kettlebells, bands, or balls, but we're not a gym that really has a ton of equipment.
Okay.
So the focus really is on learning how to move and move well. And if you know how to do that, you can almost walk into any gym, get a great workout in, and not have to worry about, how do I adjust this machine? How do I use it? What do I do?
Does doing this in a group session also help with the, like I had mentioned earlier, you walk in and you feel intimidated by all these big dudes who they're pumping 300-pound weights and stuff like that, and you just kind of feel goofy. And you're picking up these little puny dumbbells, like,
these are my baby weights.
Yeah, trying to hide in the corner kind of thing so nobody can see you.
The great thing about group training is you're sharing an environment with like-minded individuals.
Okay.
Everybody has the same goal first and foremost, so that's great. So we're all after the same thing. We all have something in common that we can talk about. The one thing that I am truly, truly blessed with is my member base. I have the most amazing, caring, warming, inviting, and supportive people at TTP.
Excellent.
You walk in there and immediately somebody's going to come up to you. They're going to introduce themselves. They're going to want to know who you are and, welcome to class. And if you needed help, they're going to be the first there to help you set something up, get organized if that's what it is. So my members really make TTP what it is.
Excellent. Do you do any kind of drop-in, or do you have to be preset, like in the program, pre-scheduled and whatnot?
Yep. So every class, your first class is free.
Okay.
So if you wanted to come in and try a class, you can certainly do that for free. You do have to register because of the classes are limited in size.
Okay. Yep,
so you need to make sure that you're holding your spot.
You have to sign like waivers, I imagine, too. Stuff
And
like
that's
that.
all online if you do it online.
Okay.
If
Gotcha.
you walk in through the door, we can get it set up and you'll sign a paper waiver when you walk in. But for the most part, we try to encourage online signups. So you can just hop onto the website, www.thetrainingproject.net. And on that menu selection on the left-hand side, you can see sign up. Exactly. You can also see all the different membership options as well. And if you didn't go through the menu selection, you certainly could just scroll down on the main page and it'll say, try a free class.
Oh, interesting.
And that'll take you through the registration process as well, which you'd be able to see the calendar, the class times, class types. You can make your selection and sign up.
Did I ask you when you run most of your classes?
You did ask me. I did not answer.
Oh, okay.
So we have classes across the board at 5:30 a.m. for our early morning warriors, 6:30 a.m. across the board,
Okay.
8:30 a.m. across the board. And then we're going to be moving into a schedule change for the fall. So we're going to be adding some 4:15 p.m.s. And then we have 5:30 p.m. classes.
So you've got a good grouping of classes to cover basically the whole day. I mean, obviously you need a break too, and your staff. So.
Yep. So we have we've covered all the popular times where people would need to be able to work out based on a work schedule, whether it's early morning, mid-morning, or after work.
Now, how about later in the evening? So like if I work in Boston, say, and I don't get home until 6:30 at night, is there like the opportunity during the week for evening classes?
Right.
Like
so we've held a 6:30 p.m. class in the past, and for whatever reason, there just hasn't been a need for it.
Oh, okay.
So
I guess that's a good point.
If there was definitely a need for it, we would plug it in there. We've had it there for a little while, and for the most part, it's just been empty.
Oh, okay.
So that's been the idea in switching to the 4:15s. So we've had some teachers that I've asked and said, you know what, like if you had something a little bit early, they get done in school, they can come right and take a class and then go home. That would work better for them. So, we're definitely a small enough business where we listen to our members and we're definitely open to suggestions. So if people say, hey, what about a class like this? Or how about a class time at this time? Or have you tried doing something like this? We're definitely open to it because we want to make sure that we can create the best schedule that's going to work for everybody.
Okay, makes sense. So very fascinating information. I appreciate you coming in and telling us about your business,
Yes,
the training project. You're welcome. I'll give you two questions. One, what would you suggest to folks who want to get started? What's the first thing you think they should do? And then second, how do people get in touch with you in order to, if they wanted to participate in some of your classes?
Definitely. So I'll answer the second question first. So the best way to get a hold of me, the couple different ways. Obviously, the easiest one is the website. So again, thetrainingproject.net. And when you click the Contact Us button and that email that's generated, it gets sent right to me.
Okay.
So I'll be able to respond directly to you. We do have a Facebook page, so if you're more of a Facebook person, you can certainly like us on Facebook. You can send me a message, and I will get back to you for sure. We are also on Instagram, so you can look us up there too.
Cool.
In terms of getting started, I think the biggest thing that I've had a challenge, which was one of the things that I really wanted to talk about, and I'll just say it briefly, is probably around 2006 or 7, I actually started at a gym here in town. At the time, it was called Global Fitness Center.
Okay.
It is now called Progress Fitness.
Okay.
And it's right on the industrial loop off of, I believe, Kendall, right? Kendall's right up here and then off.
Yeah, this is Kendall.
Yep. And then I don't know that road that connects to Progress.
I'm not sure off the top of my head.
I'd
have to look at Google Maps. I usually do.
Me too.
I cheat.
In any case, it's on the industrial loop.
Okay.
So I was there for quite a while. people in town, they know my name. My maiden name is Reynolds. So I was there at the time under that name. And when I left, people didn't really know where I went or what became of me. So definitely still in town, everybody. And now at the training project. So definitely come down and check us out. If you want to try a free class, you can certainly enroll via the website. If you want help, if you're not electronically savvy and you want a little bit of assistance, all you need to do is just shoot me an email. Let me know what class you want to take. I'll set it up for you. And even if you're not sure, I'll be more than happy to set up a phone appointment with you. You can come down, look at the gym, whatever's easiest for you.
Excellent. So it sounds like whatever your comfort level is, you can.
Anything.
Yeah, you'll make it work for
Definitely.
them. Excellent. Did you keep the Marine?
No.
I had to ask you.
Nope. No, I didn't.
Okay.
Nope, he moved on.
Oh, well, his loss.
Absolutely.
There you go. All right. So that was Megan Provencher. She runs the training project here in town in Tyngsborough. If you want to get in touch with her, check out her website and obviously the other ways that you just mentioned as well. Lots of different ways you can start up and maybe try out a class. I feel motivated already. I'm ready to go. Let's go do this.
Should totally come take a class.
My God. Don't tell me that because I will. I'll be down there. My wife would kill me if I just disappeared. Actually, no, she wouldn't. She'd be happy that I did that, I think any wives would be happy that you went and did this.
Probably. And then she'd ask you to come home so she could go take a class.
Most likely, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I already told her that I tried yoga here because one of our staff members is a yoga instructor, so she comes through on Mondays. And I missed yesterday because I was home sick with the kids. But it's awesome. The movements and getting into it. And she was like, oh, that's cool. Can I come? I'm like, oh, it's only staff, really, unfortunately. But sorry, honey.
Poor wifey.
But anyways, if you are a business in Tyngsborough and you'd like to take part in our Tyngsborough Tuesday business segment, give me an email, send me an email, or send me a message through Facebook, sbrogan@tyngsboroughma.gov, or like I said, Facebook as well. You can send me a message through there. Any questions, same email address. Feel free to throw those in. If you've been watching, you could either watch this show, as you noticed, on either Facebook, YouTube, tyngsboroughma.gov on our video on demand and streaming, or at Comcast Channel 8, Verizon Channel 29. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to all of the stuff that I just talked about, because it helps us spread the message around to the community and helps to put the businesses like Megan's business out better to those community members so that you can know that they're there and maybe buy from them, because the whole thing is about buy local, shop local, all that fun stuff. I mean, you can't get any more local than a gym, because you're not going to go to like 6 towns over if you want to go work out, because that's not convenient, right? So do all that stuff, and I will see you guys all next time on our next segment of Tyngsborough Tuesdays. Take it easy, everybody. Bye.
Take care.